How about now? Sociopath,
Yeah.
sociopath, 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 sociopath.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Let's roll with that.
A little better? God damn, it's cold. Welcome to Oddball. I'm in New York City. Charlotte Wilder's in New York City, and New York City is a frozen tundra.
It's very cold.
Cold as hell.
I'm wearing, I was so cold this morning that I was like, what's the warmest thing I own? I've got long sleeves under this. I got my Patagonia fleece. Looks like I'm in 4th grade. What are you wearing, Amin?
I'm ashamed at how many layers of compression, performance, tech, fleece, tights.
So leggings. He's wearing leggings. He's wearing yoga pants.
I'm wearing shapewear, basically.
You look great.
Underneath my tech fleece. This is the winterized one, by the way, and this isn't the regular one. This one's thicker.
They have a winterized one?
Yeah. Look at that inside. Yeah.
Right.
Feel it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very soft.
We're ready. Okay.
Speaking of New York.
Speaking of New York, speaking of ready, we're ready to talk about this topic. So the big news that broke yesterday, Jim Dolan, the chairman of Madison Square Garden, the governor of the New York Knicks, accused of sexual assault, not only of himself performing it, allegedly, but also teeing up the victim for known sexual criminal, Harvey Weinstein. Yes, that Harvey Weinstein. Apparently Dolan and Weinstein were good buddies.
They were such good buddies, in fact, that Dolan was on the board of the Weinstein Company.
How about that?
They were doing a lot of stuff together. This woman, Kelly Croft, alleges that Dolan forced her to have sex with him and then called up Weinstein and said, meet this woman at this hotel. And then Weinstein sexually assaulted her, she alleges. She was a massage therapist, Kelly Croft, and she released a statement that we're not like naming someone.
She's putting her name out there.
Yeah.
She wants her name on it. She wants it to be known.
She was a licensed massage therapist. When she met Dolan in the fall of 2013, she was on tour with the Eagles, Dolan's band,
Right.
JD and the Straight Shot, a concert that I have attended, much to the
chagrin of
my ears and Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
We're opening for the Eagles because Dolan is friends with a lot of rich people.
No, wait a second. Are you telling me that a guy who owns some of the biggest venues in the country has like a personal sway with big music acts so that he can convince, cajole, or perhaps just insinuate that, hey, maybe my two-time little band can open for your huge international successful musical act at massive venues?
You know, I mean, I might be saying that. I'm also saying, so this was 2013, 2014. In 2018, James Dolan, as I said, was a member of the board of directors of the Weinstein Company.
Yes.
He wrote a song in 2018 called I Should Have Known, which he later connected in part to Weinstein. Like, I should have known who this guy was, I'm assuming. Let's look up these lyrics.
Yes, let's look up
these lyrics. We were friends, talk for hours without end about his latest story, how to deal with fame and glory. All the girls who adored him catered to his every whim, nothing he could lose. All he needed to do was choose. I should have known, I should have known, I should have known myself across his tracks. Stopped him from these vile acts, I should have known. I don't know what more there is to say, really.
Listen to this.
It's
sitting on the very top, could not hear the call to stop. Behind locked doors, the eyes of men who take what don't belong to them.
I'm like...
For those who seek the bright and starry were threatened, you'll be sorry. That's lyrics from I Should Have Known by JD and the Straight Shot, and sounds like we should have known. Allegedly. These are all allegations.
Allegedly.
See their day in court. But for the time being, this doesn't look so good on Jim Dolan that he not only implicated in such a heinous act, but also a direct tie to Harvey Weinstein, not just friends, not just business partners, but also complicit co-conspirators in these heinous acts. All right, Charlotte, last night we had a heavyweight bout for the championship of the world. 12 rounds, no 3 knockout rule. Between in the red corner, standing 7 feet tall from Cameroon, Joel the Process Embiid.
Woo! Yay!
And in the blue corner, standing 7 feet tall as well, hailing from the Balkans of Serbia, Nikola, the Joker, Jokic.
Woo!
They did not disappoint. Boy, when these two
Oh
guys
my
get
God.
together, this is what I love. When they both play, they're going at each other, and it's a close game.
Oh my God. Yeah. It was tied every time I looked up
Yep.
until it wasn't.
Sixers defeated the Nuggets 126-121. Embiid scored 10 consecutive points in the fourth quarter on the way to the win
He finished with 41 points, 7 rebounds.
and 10 assists.
Yes, he did.
Meanwhile, the Joker had
24 points, 19 rebounds, 19 rebounds, and 3 assists.
there you go. Which, by the way, 3 assists, highly irregular for him. 7 rebounds, highly irregular for Embiid. But we got great basketball.
They spur each other on to be better.
Yeah, out
They
to
trade off the gifts in the ring.
Is that your 1920s old-timey
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like it.
You sound
I sound like Bradley Cooper and Maestro.
No, you sound like in like the screwball comedies of the 40s.
Hey, what do you say?
Yeah, that's what you sound like.
It's similar though, right?
Yeah,
Wait,
a
do
little
the ring thing again.
The ring announcer has a little bit of a shake in his voice.
And it's a little bit more in the nasal area with a little bit of a, you hold back your breath.
Up here, you're down here, up here.
Hello.
So, Embiid is 6-2
Mm-hmm.
in matchups against Jokic lifetime. In the last 5 matchups, Embiid has averaged 32.6 points a game, 11.8 rebounds, 5.4 assists versus Jokic's 22 points a game, 10.1 rebounds, 6.9 assists. Charlotte, is this a case of Joel Embiid having Jokic's number, or Joel Embiid just caring more because this is the guy he's compared to inevitably?
That's a good question. I mean, what do you think? I don't know. I feel like it could be that Embiid is trying harder, but I feel like also maybe he gets under Jokic's skin. Maybe he rattles Jokic a little bit.
I think it's a combination, right? Like
Right?
part of it is I definitely think Embiid gets up for these games.
Yeah.
In a way that he may not every game. And again, we're talking about the MVP. And
Right.
He plays amazing. But
yeah.
there's a level of intensity against Jokic that isn't consistent with every other night.
Right.
One. But also two, like how many times does Jokic step on the floor and say, oh, this dude is just as tall, just as heavy, just as smart, just as skilled, just as
Once.
agile. Like,
When he plays Embiid.
this is the only guy in the league. Well, twice, because they played
Twice.
twice, right? But yes, there's only one guy in the league who's legitimately, I'm every bit, in size and stature and game, the player that you are.
I think also something that's just talking about yesterday with Embiid being MVP. If he misses 8 more games, he will not be eligible. Watching him play like this, that's sort of when I said that I feel like it's garbage. That's sort of where I'm coming from. Like I understand what the 65 game rule. I
Right.
get it all. But then you see a performance like this, and it's like if he does that 8 more times, regardless of missing 8 more games, it becomes very hard to start to, especially if Jokic is not doing that.
This is what I'm going to say. I think this year, he's playing great, obviously. He's improved on his MVP level of last year. I think there are a lot of great, deserving other candidates that, for instance, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander ends up winning MVP, continues his year the way he did, OKC continues the way they have, and he wins MVP, I don't think anyone argues that. I think the fear happens when there's a year where Embiid's doing something like this and nobody else is really deserving. And so we're going to sit there and really, we're going to call that guy MVP when Embiid has been over here doing it.
Yeah.
That's the fear. I think this year we've got some cover in that there have been other great performances by other players.
That's a great point.
The Suns made a furious comeback Grayson Allen tied a franchise record with 9 3-pointers. Durant had 27. And the Suns, who trailed 113-96, closed the game with a 23-4 run to win the game on 2 free throws by Durant with, I believe, 1.8 seconds remaining. And that's nuts. But what's even more nuts is what happened at halftime. Now, I know what you're thinking. They were down 22 at the half. Did Coach Vogel lay into them? Hey, did Durant or Booker stand up and give an impassioned speech and rally the troops? Maybe. I don't know. We don't have any reports of that. But I do know what happened at halftime. This.
So, I have a take as someone who loves dogs. I know you don't. Whatever.
What's that supposed to mean?
To each her own. Well, you don't love dogs that much.
I don't not like dogs.
Okay, great. So, as two people who care about dogs,
sure,
don't put puppies on the court.
But it's a puppy race.
I don't like that. I don't like puppy races. I don't like baby races. I think it is messed up. These little kids, for both of them, they're both children.
Yeah.
They're dog children and they're human children. And you make them race and they cry. This poor dog pees on the floor. At Summer League, I saw so many crying babies, Amin, at halftime. Thomas and Macarena was full of crying babies. They're just sobbing, and their parents are like, come on, you can do it. I don't like it. This is mean to the dog. Of course the dog peed on the floor. It was terrified.
The Suns, Charlotte. The Suns, though.
Yes, the Suns. Speaking of pee, sorry, do you know what Durant said after the game?
What?
I usually know how the game is flowing, but I felt like this was a blur. Everything happened so fast. I guess we were all in a zone and locked in.
What did that have to do with pee?
Flowing.
Oh. I thought you were going to say, I was pissed off.
No. Well, also, they're a team that likes a free-flowing movement offense.
Ah, there it is.
So, anyway.
It's fun. You know, it's weird, Charlotte, because over the last week, we've had a lot of blowouts, right? A lot of blowouts.
Yes.
Huge blowouts. The Blazers lost by 11 points at one point, right, last week. So everyone says we're in the era of make or miss threes, right? And the team that, if you have one team that makes a bunch of threes and another team that misses a bunch of threes, you're going to get a huge gap in the score, even though as they're playing within the flow of the game, one team is not really outplaying the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a flip side to it in that no game is safe, no lead is safe. And last night's Kings-Suns game indicates, hey, don't shut off that TV too quick, unless, of course, you see the human white flags walk out there, and then we know.
So you mean unless Joe Mazzulla benches his starters at halftime? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, if Joe Mazzulla sits all starters at halftime and plays nothing but
then maybe it's over.
Peyton Pritchard and Keita and all those guys, then maybe it's over. But if you're watching a game and no matter what the score is, the regulars are out there, stick with it.
And we saw that with Nuggets Warriors. Michael Malone left everybody in when you thought he'd pull them.
Stick with it. Stick with it, man. The game can turn on a trifle.
That's a life lesson.
Yeah. Hey, we like to play this game around here. It's we ask each other a question. We're going to answer the question in 10 words or less. The game is called
Word Count.
Yes. Now, Charlotte, how will the people at home know when we've hit the 10-word mark?
The people at home will know when we've hit the 10-word mark because we're going to hold up our hands and we're going to count as we talk.
Seems simple enough,
Count
Charlotte.
as we talk.
Are you ready?
I am.
Question 1. The Clippers will host the 75th All-Star Game in 2026 at the upcoming new Intuit Dome. Steve Ballmer gave a tour to the media the other day. They showcased this technological menace. It's set to open in time for the 2024-25 season. What needs to happen to make people forget all about the Lakers and Crypto.com arena?
Probably like 50 years.
Uh-huh.
But good food, big Jumbotron. Just kidding. Nothing's going to make people forget about the Lakers, but I do think that this is, people lose their minds for new stadiums. They lose their minds. They go nuts. You walk in, like when you see a jumbotron that's bigger than anything you've ever seen before, and what I guess it's not even a jumbotron, it's a video board at this point. It's just like the whole thing it's acres of video boards. People are going to be very into this. This is going to bring a lot of people to. I intuit this will bring a lot of people to the Intuit Dome.
Yeah, boasts the most bathrooms per capita of any sports facility in the country.
I respect that.
He's Ballmer's really big about why are people waiting in lines to go to the bathroom? They should be able to go to the bathroom and come back and not miss a second of the game. The other thing is, did you see the thing that they're calling the wall?
Yes.
So if you don't know, the section behind one of the baskets is 50 rows of uninterrupted. So there's no suites or nothing. It's just row after row after row of seats, and you have to qualify in order to have seats there. You have to have been, I think, a Clippers season ticket holder or shown that you've been a huge Clipper fan via social media following for a while and all this stuff. You are not allowed to sit in that section unless you are a Clippers super fan.
This is such user-generated content seating. This is such a tech move. All of this is tech moves.
Yeah.
Steve Ballmer wants to hack your body so you can enjoy the most of the game, so you can pee very quickly. He also is we're going to make people work for these seats. And it's not a bad idea.
Must be fun to have a team that's owned by someone who's competent.
All right, Amin. Wembanyama plans to participate in the All-Star Skills Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have liked to have seen him more in the dunk or three-point contest? And how well do you think he'll do in the skills challenge?
Absolutely no. No. Okay. That's better.
Why do you not want to see him in the dunk contest?
Well, because for the history of the dunk contest, we know that what makes dunks look cool is the aerial acrobatics. The smaller you are, the more time you have to do aerial acrobatics before you get to the rim. Ideally, probably 6'5", 6'6" is the perfect size of anywhere between 6'5" and 6'8". The bigger you are, it just doesn't look as cool. It just doesn't. And so for someone who's 7'3" plus with a 7'9" wingspan,
yeah.
He can stand on his tiptoes and dunk, and while that's cool, wow, he doesn't even have to jump. It's also not that impressive artistically as seeing someone whirl through the air and windmill it or put it between their legs or whatever.
Yeah.
As far as the three-point shootout goes, he's shooting 29% from three. I get it. It's so weird to see someone that big doing. I don't want to see someone break three after three. But Lou Dort. Lou Dort deserves to be in the three-point contest. I said it.
I love Lou Dort.
I love Lou Dort too. ASU forks up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
My
question. Number 2 for Charlotte Wilder. Jimmy Butler told Claire de Lune of The Guardian that he's been working on a country album for over a year and has already recorded over 60 tracks and hopes to choose from around 200, those in quotes, when he's done. Charlotte, what's his hit single going to be called?
It's Too Hot in Miami for Hot Coffee. It's going to be the name of his hit single. It's too hot in Miami for hot coffee. There's a lot to work with there. What I respect about Jimmy, first of all, love that he's doing a country album. Country music fan. I think he's going to crush it. I like that as an NBA player, he's like, look, I play 80 games. Not all of those are going to be my best. If I'm going to make an album, I'm getting myself 200 tracks to choose from before we put this thing together.
I'm calling bull.
Really?
He doesn't have 200 songs.
No, he has 60. He wants to have 200.
He doesn't have 60 songs. There's 60 versions of the same song. Trust me.
Of It's Too Hot in Miami for Hot Coffee?
60 different songs. You're full of shit, Jimmy. I love you. You're full of
Okay.
All right.
Amin.
Yes.
What is going on with NBA officiating and coaches right now, and how do you see it getting better or not? Reminder that Darko Rajakovic of the Raptors was fined $25,000 for complaining about the refs after a game. Mike Brown of the Kings was fined $50,000 for going after a ref on the court and then bringing his laptop to the post-game presser and showing why he was right.
Nothing is going on. We just like complaining about refs. I'm not saying Darko was wrong. I'm not saying Mike was wrong in the things that they pointed out. I'm just saying It's happened since the beginning of time. Someone gets screwed. Oftentimes not on purpose. That's just life. You got to play through it. And next time, you're going to get the benefit. You know what I've never seen, Charlotte? I've never seen a coach in the postgame press conference point out all the times they got the benefit of the whistle. Like, whoa, wait. I didn't hear Darvin Ham thank the refs or praise the refs or even just say, oof, we really got away with a couple there. They never do.
I feel like they should start.
They only point it out when they are the victims and not the beneficiaries.
Of
right?
course.
But before we move on, I do want to point out some hypocrisy of one sort. Darko Rajakovic questioned the integrity of the game. He said, if you guys just want them to win, let us know so we won't show up. You didn't just say, hey, the refs screwed us. You insinuated that there was an agenda. That is detrimental to the integrity of the game. That is way more than a $25,000 fine, which is just complaining about refs, right? Mike Brown didn't insinuate anything. He just said, hey, here's my laptop. I'm going to run the play for you. See that? That was called a foul. Now see this one over here, that wasn't called a foul. And it's hard to overcome those kind of discrepancies. All we're looking for is consistency. I actually thought Mike Brown shouldn't have gotten fined because he never criticized the refs specifically or the officiating. What he was just pointing out is black and white discrepancies in the consistency in calls.
What about the on the court stuff?
Who among us?
All right, Amin, final word count. The NBA came out with a report stating that there is no link between load management and fewer injuries. Should we believe them?
No, because in that same report, they said,
you're going to run out. Just throw in the towel.
Hold on, I could do this.
You can do it?
I could do this. They said, there's not a link. There's not a link. Ah, damn.
It's all right. It's okay. I know.
Dropped this.
You're slipping.
But like that's my favorite thing in that whole shebangy bang. Like I'm looking through it and I'm like, wait a second. The person saying here like they haven't disproven a link between load management and lack of injuries. There's two problems I've had with this since the NBA came out originally back in September or October talking about this. Number one is, as proven by them, they don't have proof that it doesn't exist.
Right.
They just saying we couldn't find proof that it did exist. But the other part of this, and this is important, when you talk about a study like this, it cannot merely be, did he rest? Did he get hurt? There are so many more factors that go into this. Chief among them, first of all, was he resting or was he actually hurt? You don't know, League.
Right.
You know the official thing. They're saying DNP, sore knee, could have been rest.
Yep.
Right? That's number one. But number two is, and this is important, the league does not have access to the biometrics, meaning the individual teams know how hard their players have been working in practice, know how, like, through various tests, whether it's wearable tech, measuring certain things, whether it's just old-fashioned range of motion. His leg doesn't go as high up the wall as it did 3 days ago. They know the stresses that their players' bodies are going under in a way that the league has no idea.
Right.
So whatever study the league did, even if it came out unequivocally like, oh, there's no link, you have missing data. You have insufficient data to make that claim. And you'll never have the data because the teams will never share that data back with the league. And as a result, it's funny how many people took that quote, took that report, and just ran with it. See?
I know.
See, it doesn't exist. Now, I get it. I'm with you, Joe Dumars. I want our players to play as many games as possible. An all 82 season would be a dream. I really do think so, right? I really want that. But we have to also acknowledge you can't just say, oh, that doesn't work because you want this. I can want this and also acknowledge there's a value that's why I said we got to continue to incentivize people to play. And not players, because the players always want to play. You got to incentivize organizations.
Yep. Hello? Oh, the show's over? Oh, that's too bad.
You have a phone sitting right next to you.
Okay, bye.
Why don't you use the actual phone as your prop? Why are you using your hand?
I can't hear you. I'm on the phone.